Hey everyone, Mike Miller, Jeremy Price, the Breslin Center, House of Horrors. It doesn't get any easier for Indiana here in East Lansing, not after a 88-69 loss to the number 8 Spartans. Boy, every time Indiana comes up here, especially the last couple of years, it has not ended well. Although this one, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of Indiana punch for that first half. Not so much in the second half, not so much late in the first half, really. Yeah. Indiana had a 10-point lead, actually, about midway through the first half, but from there, it just didn't have that same pushback that Michigan State gave them. There were problems with transition defense for Indiana. It didn't have the normal stellar output from Yogi Ferrell. Troy Williams was a non-factor, completely absent, frankly, scoreless in his second consecutive game in East Lansing. Jeremy, a whole list of problems went into this one, and it was kind of hard to stomach for Indiana after they played so well through those first, really, 15 minutes of the game.
Well, I guess, only fitting. It's only ended well once here in the last 25 years, so I guess nobody's surprised by that. But the crazy part of this game was, like you said, just the way it played out and the fact that you had sort of all the good things and all the bad things that we've seen from this Indiana team through the year, and you had them all in one game. And the first half, outside of a little bit of a slow start for Indiana, but once they took that first punch, the first half, at least most of the first half, was some of the best basketball Indiana's played, shy of that 28-0 run at Michigan. And, having a double-digit lead in the Breslin Center, that hasn't happened often at all. And it disappeared in a hurry, unfortunately. Indiana kind of got away from the things it was doing well offensively. It got away from the things it was doing well defensively. And then there was Denzel Valentine, and that was all she wrote.
Yeah, not going to get into the Valentine's Day puns. I already got yelled at on Twitter a bit for even making one passing reference to Valentine's Day and Denzel Valentine. But yeah, absolutely a huge game for him. 30 points, 13 assists. Matt Costello rebounded from a pretty slow start against IU's front court of Max Bielfeldt, Thomas Bryant. Finished with 22, 13 of which came in the second half. Again, Indiana was, I think, at the final media timeout of the first half, they were shooting 16 of 30 from the field. They went 10 of 39 the rest of the way, which is about 25 or 7%. So it was very, very...
not good.
No, it was not good at all. And it was from a number of different angles, too. I mean, again, it wasn't... Yogi Ferrell's kind of struggled last couple games.
He has struggled.
Just from the field. This was more of the same. Tom Crean said maybe it was a bit of him pressing, but he just didn't have a lot of help around him. Max Bielfeldt got off to an outstanding start. 10 points in the first half, finished with 15, but you're not going to win in East Lansing with Max Bielfeldt alone.
No, I think they got the desired lift. Bielfeldt got the start in place of Colin Hartman. A little change to the lineup. I think the goal was twofold. One, to sort of keep Hartman, who's kind of been getting in foul trouble, out of foul trouble early, especially if Michigan State wanted to establish something in the post game. And two, to keep Thomas Bryant out of foul trouble, because Bielfeldt sort of gave Indiana a second option inside, both offensively and defensively, and maybe take some of that pressure off Thomas Bryant. So, and from that standpoint, it was successful. The problem was that it didn't last. As a matter of fact, I mean, really, when you look at Bryant, 10 points and 5 rebounds, you would have liked to have gotten a little more there. Again, that's where Indiana got away from it. But Bielfeldt, 15 points and 10 rebounds. Those guys combining for 25 points and 15 rebounds, I think you could live with that coming in. It was the other things, the fact you got nothing out of Troy Williams again, which I guess that's really not a surprise. Michigan State has been a struggle for him his entire career.
Yeah.
Never scored more than 9 points against Michigan State, and that came as a freshman. Since then, I don't think he scored more than 6 points in a game against Michigan State. Averages around 4 points, actually under 4 points now after today for his career against Michigan State. Averages about 4 rebounds, and he got 4 today. So there you go.
Complicating that whole conundrum, the Troy Williams conundrum for Indiana, is the continued elevated play of OG Anunoby, again coming off the bench as you thought he might, especially with some of the matchup problems in this game. Matchup problems we've seen the last 2 weeks. OG Anunoby has been that guy that you bring in and you can kind of use as a defensive stopper in some situations. OG Anunoby has been playing outstanding.
Yeah.
And it's coming at a time when it's beginning to be fair. It was probably a bit fair a few weeks ago to wonder at what point does OG Anunoby start to come and take some of those minutes away from Troy. Is that something that we're on the verge of seeing maybe these next couple games with Nebraska looming on, was that Wednesday?
Yeah, I mean, it's getting to the point where I think Tom Crean's hand's almost going to be forced if things continue this way, because Indiana can't wait for Troy Williams to figure things out in the course of a game or to get benched and then come out of his funk every game like he did against Iowa. I mean, I guess if you need to do that, you need to do that. But I think more and more, when he's being ineffective, there are options. It's not like there are no other options to go to. Now, there are options on the Indiana bench. There are good options on the Indiana bench. And if Indiana is going to have the kind of success it wants to have this year, it's got to play the guys that are going to give it its best chance to win. And some nights that's going to be Troy Williams, because he's going to have, maybe even Wednesday, another 20-point, 10-rebound sort of game where he flashes all that potential in the world. And then he's going to have another egg like this one, most likely, at some point. And the hook has to be quicker, I guess, going forward, I think. And it was relatively quick today. I think probably a lot of folks watching the game maybe would have preferred it to be a little quicker, but it was fairly quick all in all. And he gave Troy a couple chances to try and get back in there and get something going, but it just wasn't happening at all.
No, Indiana has a chance to return home, friendly confines of Assembly Hall, get Nebraska this week. Another bounce-back effort for Indiana coming up on tap. What is the schedule? I don't even have the schedule in front of me. We got Purdue next Saturday.
Yeah, Nebraska, Purdue, and then at Illinois.
Right.
And if Indiana has an idea of winning the Big Ten, pretty much got to win all 3 games.
You got to go 3-0 this next stretch.
And most importantly, you've got to take care of business at home against Nebraska, and you need to take care of business on the road against an Illinois team that you're better than. Purdue's a toss-up game, obviously a quality opponent, 2 of the top 4 or 5 teams in the Big Ten, no doubt, when you're looking at those guys. So what happens there, but got to take care of business against Nebraska first things first.
Yep. Well, it's snowing back home. We want to get home. We don't want to get stranded. Thanks, guys. Catch you soon.